All right, guys, here for the Week 14 performance reviews. This isn't going to be quite as long as normal. Just going to kind of cover the big matchups and preview the next week and just give a brief overview of what else went on. To start, we have my matchup versus Michael. It was a score looks very close. It really kind of wasn't as close as the score looks. I lost by 1.9, so basically 107 to 105. Michael could have left Mike Wallace in his lineup, who did end up scoring almost 8 points, so the score could have been a little higher. Basically, my lineup decision came down to I had Michael Thomas in my lineup. He decided he wasn't going to be able to go in the 4 o'clock game. I didn't have anybody on my team, so I had to pick somebody up, and obviously I had to do that before noon on Sunday. I had a few options. Actually, one of those options was Terrence Williams, which he ended up scoring 16 points, which would have worked out for me. But his previous games, he had like 3 catches combined, so I didn't go there. I went with Jermaine Kearse from the Seahawks. I figured they'd be throwing a bunch, having to score. A receiver did play well for Seattle. It was McElhoy or something like that, and I think he is the 4th or 5th receiver on the depth chart, so got it wrong. Took the loss here. Looking at my team, I had Stafford with 16, Lamar Miller with 19, Jordy had 19. I did decide to play Deshaun Jackson over Stephon Diggs, which worked out for me. Deshaun put up about 18. Nothing else really to speak of. Like I said, I put Jermaine Kearse in there. He got me a point. That's kind of where my team faltered there. Didn't really have anything on the bench. I could have played Diggs and played it safe, but it still would have given me the loss there. Looking at Joseph's team, not Joseph, looking at Michael's team, he had Andrew Luck with 16, Ezekiel Elliott with 11, LaShawn McCoy with 20, Jordan Matthews with 12, Kenny Britt with 12. And the big thing here was he had Panthers defense who got 20 points. They caused 5 turnovers against the Chargers. That was the only game on in my area at 1 o'clock. I had to watch it, and it was very, very frustrating to see the Chargers constantly giving up sacks. Phillip Rivers just throwing the ball to wherever he wanted. Very frustrating. But congratulations to Michael. He moves on to the next round. And now my season's over. 2 years in a row losing in the first round of the playoffs. I guess at least I made it. That's something. The other playoff matchup wasn't nearly as entertaining. It was between Dalton and Phillip. Phillip got the win here, 112 to 80, so a pretty big margin of victory there. If we look at Dalton's team, he had Kirk Cousins with 16. Now, Dalton's big issue this week was his 2 top running backs each got hurt during the game. So that kind of really made it tough on him. I believe Melvin Gordon got hurt on the first series of the game where he tried to recover a fumble of one of his teammates, probably Phillip Rivers. I can't remember, but he sucked. And he got whacked in the hip pretty good, and he was out. And then Matt Forte got hurt pretty early on in their game as well. So he literally got like 1.5 points out of his 2 top running backs, which, unless the rest of your guys kill it, that's probably going to seal the deal there for you. He had Antonio Brown with 10, Tyreek Hill with 20, Edelman with 11, Greg Olsen with 11. Not much else. Also played Terrell Pryor, who got like a point, who was completely horrible. Not the best decision there. I would have probably rolled with Dontrell Inman myself, or maybe even Tevin Coleman, given their matchups. Both of them would have helped him out, but ultimately not giving him the victory. Did have Bilal Powell on the bench, who had his career best day, had 32 points, but you can't really expect him to play that type of player when you have Matt Forte the starter, and just things didn't work out there. He also had Inman on the bench, who had 16, and Tevin Coleman, who had 19. If we look at Phillips' team, Aaron Rodgers produced 21, Tavis Murray with 16, Jeremy Hill with 22, Malcolm Mitchell with 12, and the Bengals defense with 10. Pretty solid performance out of his team. Nobody, really faltered. His worst player was his tight end, C.J. Fedorowicz, and he I believe, got a concussion in the game, so only 5 points there out of him. Could have played Kyle Rudolph in his place, who had 14. Did have Jonathan Stewart on the bench with 13. Could have gotten him a few more points there. He did pull off this victory, even with having Julio Jones out for the week. Obviously, we all know Julio might not play this week. It's kind of up in the air. I believe initially they said it was turf toe. Now it's a toe sprain. So honestly, I don't know what the hell the difference is between the two, but we'll see if that makes a difference. See if he gets in there this week. I personally hope so because I own him in my other 2 leagues. So with that being said, we'll browse the constellation bracket real quick. Basically the battle for who's gonna get the best picks. Ray beat out Joseph 103-75, so that would move Ray on and boost Joseph down to the bottom portion. We'll see how that plays out. Dakota beat George 115-80, and then Shane whooped up on David pretty bad, 155-82. A lot of that had to do with Le'Veon Bell scoring 50 points. So if we move on and we look at this week coming up, we are going to have Garrett, the number 1 seed, versus Michael in the semifinals. Winner moves on to the finals. Not sure if guys have set their lineup yet, but as it currently stands, Michael is projected to win 119-107. And then in the other semifinal, we have Ray Sr. versus Phillip. Ray Sr. is projected to lose currently. Like I said, I'm not sure if these guys have set their lineups or not, and of course adjustments will be made. He is projected to lose 132-130. So both games probably projected to be relatively close. Obviously, I'm going to be playing Dalton in the winner's constellation bracket, and if we look down at the actual constellation bracket, it looks like Shane's going to be up against Dakota, Ray versus George, and Joseph versus David. I didn't see anything crazy on the waivers this week. Obviously, some teams will kind of give up, not a ton to play for. Obviously, our incentive is to try to get a higher draft pick, which I believe will be a big deal next year if you can snatch Le'Veon Bell or David Johnson or Elliott, some of these stud running backs out there that are just far and away better than everybody below them. So we'll see how things go. Good luck to the 4 players in the finals. Obviously, there's money up for grabs and a belt on the line. So best of luck to everybody, and see you guys next week.